Beloved friends, today we celebrate the 15th Sunday in Ordinary Time in Year A. Have you ever felt discouraged in your faith, asking yourself whether God was still at work in your life? A mother once came to me and shared the pain of watching her son slowly drifting away from the faith and values she had worked so hard to teach him. Out of love, she prayed. She tried to correct him, struggled to love him, and convince him to change. But the more she pushed, the more distant he became. She got frustrated. One day, a priest told her, you have spent years planting seed in his heart. Perhaps your task now is to trust the God who gives the growth. Keep loving him, keep praying for him, and allow God's grace to work in his own time. Never give up. Now, this is the mystery found in today's readings. The prophet Isaiah's word in today's first reading from Isaiah chapter 55 was addressed to the people of Israel near the end of their Babylonian exile in the 6th century BC. For nearly 70 years, they had lived far from their homeland, having lost their temple, their king, and much of their hope. As they prepared to return to Jerusalem, many wondered whether God's promises would still be fulfilled. But into their uncertainty, Isaiah proclaimed a message of hope. God's word is utterly reliable. Just as the rain and the snow unfailingly nourish the earth, God's word will accomplish its purpose and bring about the restoration and salvation he has promised. This prophecy reveals a profound truth. Rain does not negotiate with the soil. Rain does not demand that the earth open before it falls. It does not become angry when the ground is hard. It simply gives itself, and slowly, quietly, beneath the surface, life begins. This is how God's grace works. St. Paul expresses this same idea in the second reading from his letter to the Romans, chapter 8. Using a different image, he says that creation is groaning in labor pains as it awaits for its renewal. Like a mother in labor, creation is experiencing pain, but that pain is leading to new life. Again, using a parable in our gospel today, according to Matthew chapter 13, Jesus takes this theme further with a sower who scatters seed generously. In this parable, the sower does not control the soil. He does not decide beforehand which ground is worthy of receiving the seed. He simply sows. This is an angle we miss when we focus our readings of this parable on the different soils. Perhaps we should also focus on the heart of the sower. God does not stop sowing because some seeds are rejected. He does not withdraw his grace because some hearts are resistant. In other words, his love is not determined by the response he receives. He simply works behind the scene, and that is grace that begs for hope. My dear friends, many of our deepest wounds comes from trying to do what only God can do. We try so hard to change our spouses, our children, our friends, or even ourselves through pressure, argument, and control. But transformation belongs to grace, not force. We can only plant, water, pray, and trust. The mystery of faith is that God often works beneath the surface before anything becomes visible. That is why a prayer offered years ago may still be alive. A word of kindness may still be remembered. A seed planted in someone's heart may be waiting for the right season. Honestly speaking, I think my grandmother's prayer for me is what keeps me strong today. What about you? Our timeless Christian call is to hope. Hope is not optimism that everything will immediately turn out well. Hope is the confidence that God is already at work, even when the evidence is hidden. The cross itself is the greatest example. On Good Friday, the disciples saw only failure, loss, and death. But what looked like the end was actually the beginning of God's greatest work, the hidden work of grace. The first Christian responsibility, dear friends, is faithfulness, whereas God's responsibility is transformation. This is what Jesus invites us into. What are you waiting for? May God bless you.